Welcome back to another episode of Danny Phantom Reviews, I guess is the name of the show. Today we're taking a look at the episode Torrent of Terror. This one's about a ghost tornado, so it's going to be good. So the plot, I guess, the observers are back briefly in this one, and they're imprisoning this ghost with weather powers. Vlad breaks him out and recruits him to try to use his abilities for evil, I guess. And then all he really does is uses the ghost to make it rain because there's a heat wave and it's really hot out. So then his mayor approval rating goes up. But then Vlad quickly loses control of the ghost. What is this guy? Is his a really generic name, like Vortex or something? I forget. And then Danny's gotta fight him. That's sort of the episode. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to this one. It's sort of just another season 3 episode where there's a big powerful ghost that's threatening the whole town and Danny has to fight him, which is fine if you do every once in a while, but we literally just got an episode like that with Urban Jungle where there was a big plant monster attacking the city. Now there's a big tornado monster attacking the city. Even though the stakes claim to be high, they don't feel as high as when this type of episode only came around once in a while. Vlad also quickly loses complete control of the tornado monster, and then he has to ask Danny for help in trying to defeat it. Which again, Vlad being the mayor is kind of fun, but because he's in all these episodes and is very rarely an actual big threat to Danny and his friends, he really kind of loses a lot of the threateningness that he had when he only showed up once in a while. Even this episode kind of gets bored with the premise, and halfway through they shake things up by the Vortex guy somehow gives his abilities to Danny. So now Danny is controlling the weather via his emotions. So there's like almost an idea here where Danny's a hormonal teenager and he's having trouble controlling his emotions, and every time he gets angry it starts to rain or whatever, and so now they have to figure out how to defeat the tornado monster and save the day and fix Danny, but it just never quite evolves into anything. Vlad then kind of becomes a servant to Danny, and it's like really cartoony, and Vlad's trying to make Danny happy because every time he gets angry there's a tornado or whatever. Yeah, so any like sense of threateningness that Vlad had earlier in the show is like basically completely gone by the end of this episode, where he goes from being like a very compelling character and an interesting villain to a one-dimensional cartoon character who is bad at his plans and is not good at being a villain. I don't know, man. And yeah, because this is a season 3 episode, the pacing is all weird, so the episode never really focuses on one idea long enough for it to like become interesting. They sort of do a thing that earlier Danny Phantom episodes did with Tucker, where he has an invention that pays off in the end of the episode. He has this like VR headset that like can program different things, and then they use it at the end on Danny to help trigger different emotions and make him defeat the villain. But there's no like arc about Danny like learning to control his emotions or something, which seems like that would be what the plot of this one is. Like, Danny doesn't really learn anything. He just kind of eventually defeats the bad guy, and Vlad starts out the episode seeming like a potentially threatening and interesting villain, and then just becomes a completely goofy cartoon character by the end of it. And the stakes feel extremely low, and like there's not really much to anything that's happening. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this one. Again, there's like almost some ideas, but they don't really focus on them long enough to do anything interesting with them, and nobody really learns anything, and then they all just kind of go home at the end. That's basically it. There's a tornado monster and they fight him. Like, okay. There's a couple funny jokes. I like this moment where it's really hot out and Vlad has his assistants fanning him with wads of money, which I think is kind of funny. I like this line.
The weather is my art. I will not just stop it. Did anyone ask Picasso to stop painting the Mona Lisa?
Would you tell Picasso to sell his guitars?
But other than that, not a whole lot to this one, and Vortex is a pretty unmemorable villain, if that's even his name, which I don't remember. Yeah, that's it for now, and we'll see you in the next one, I guess.